Welcome, guys, to this episode of the All Things REI podcast. We got a great guest today, another fellow Windsorite, the creative financing expert, and also fellow Wealth Genius member, Jan. Welcome to the show again.
Hey, Tom, great to see you again, as always. He's my selfie guy with his long arms.
Yeah, at all the
I know he
meetups.
takes
Yeah,
a good selfie, so I'll just hand him my phone. Yeah, great to see you. I am Jan Carmanico-Reeves, the creative financing expert, and always on a mission to make real estate investing fun, easy, and profitable. One of my newest ventures is I'm also the president of Adair Property Management Windsor division. So I've collaborated with a property management company,
awesome.
and we've opened a Windsor division. So the day to day is run from Kingston. They
Hmm.
have a great system set up, full staff. So they deal with any tenant issues, leases. Um, Leasing properties, everything.
Hmm.
Yeah, for all the day-to-day communications, shall I say, communications. They send out plumbers, uh,
Yeah, they do all
deal with,
that kind of
yeah,
having to
deal
field
with,
the phone
yeah,
calls and stuff. Yeah.
yeah. They make the arrangements with tenants. They do all that kind of stuff.
That's awesome. So
Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
now that you mention it, how long have you been doing that for? And maybe backtrack a little bit too. What got you into property management space? Because it's not an easy business to be in, to be honest.
Well,
And
it's
some people
not.
really don't
And
want to deal with the tenants and toilets or anything else.
exactly, exactly. So the reason I got into it was it came out of a mastermind retreat. And as investors, if you're under a corp, you pay 50% taxation for real estate investing, even though, they say it's passive income, even though we know if we're managing our own properties, it is
It's
not
not quite
passive.
passive, no.
But as a property management company, it's at a 12.5% taxation rate because it's active income. So I knew I wanted to do that. But then I had Andre, my business partner, on my podcast
Hmm.
talking about partnerships. And we just kind of continued the conversation and said, like, how could we work this together? So I didn't really want to start a property management company from scratch, right?
Yeah, that'll be a lot of work to bootstrap and
It's
everything too.
right. And then you're managing staff and, all kinds of, learning systems, finding the best systems, setting them up, branding, advertising, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it came out of that. So, like I said, they do all the day-to-day things. I'm the local, I provide them with the service providers. So that's, plumbers, HVAC, electricians, handymen, painters, cleaners, all those kind of things.
Hmm.
But they do all the contact. If they need to go into a tenant's unit, they contact the tenant to give them notice. They collect rent. If the rent's late, they send, the N4, all that kind of stuff. So I'm not doing the day-to-day stuff. I'm a relationship developer.
Hmm.
So I'm finding
Other clients or other
yeah, housing
potential
providers
places.
that need, um, property management done. And little plug here, we do offer a nice referral bonus, a $500 referral bonus if you send us an investor that needs their property managed and they sign a 1-year contract. Then we like to thank you and hope that you'll remember us to refer us the next time. So we want to make it worth your
Yeah,
while.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
actually a nice win-win right there.
Yeah,
And
yeah, absolutely.
is this Windsor, Essex County, or is this specific Windsor? I know you said there's some up in Kingston too. There's probably different pockets where AD property management works,
Right.
but
So our division is in the Windsor and surrounding areas. Andre is in Kingston and surrounding areas, and he's also partnered with somebody in Belleville.
hmm,
So they're up and down. They're covering between Kingston, Belleville, and surrounding areas about 150 kilometers on the 401.
gotcha. Okay, I like that. So a lot of places in Ontario. So
Yeah,
even if you're
and
not, if you listen to this and you're not in Windsor, you can probably still get it somewhere else too.
well, and so this is another thing that we're developing right now, and you might want to reach out, is we're going to be offering like a franchise.
Mm,
So if you have, an area that you're familiar with, you know a lot of people, you've got a list of service providers, then you may want to open your own division and partner with us again.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that could
So
be
we're
a
we're working out the
interesting
details on that.
opportunity.
We hope to have everything ready, for the end of the month for our big conference there.
Oh, for the Wealth Genius Expand conference, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So we can yeah, talk to people about it there, expanding into other areas.
I like that. It's all about growth and expansion. So that's nice
Absolutely.
to,
And collaborations, right?
and collaboration too. That's
Mm-hmm.
actually really interesting, Jen, and it's cool that you're making moves because you're still doing your multifamily investing and running your salon business at the same time. People, if people don't know, you're already a business owner and a real estate investor too. It's not just that
Exactly.
you're a property manager now, or the
No,
product manager
and
relations, I should say.
that's our niche in the market is we are real estate investors. So who better to manage your property than real
Mm,
estate investors who understand, how to increase values of properties, and that, timelines are so important, tenant turnovers, getting renovations done quickly, getting cleanings done after move outs, all those kind of things, repairs, quarterly walkthroughs to, prevent bigger issues from happening.
hmm Just to
Just
check on like deferred maintenance and whatnot and see
yeah,
what's going
yeah,
on.
yeah. Make sure, in the fall walkthrough that the outside water's turned off, and just visual checks for um, anything, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Check
Yeah.
the faucets, check that there's no leaking faucets, change furnace filters, making sure that all those things are getting done quarterly, and I, it's just a good idea, I think, to have eyes on the inside of a property.
hmm
Um, Quarterly, so that things don't get out of control. Um, when I bought my first rental student property, doing some walkthroughs of different ones, and it was a real estate agent that suggested, because lots of things can go on in student rentals, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, right.
Yeah.
So he suggested having somebody go in to clean every couple of weeks. So you got eyes on the inside, right?
And you
You
kind of
know,
maintain it too at the same time.
and maintain it at the same time.
Maybe that
So
gives you some better quality tenants as well. Because when you say,
absolutely.
hey, we throw in a cleaning fee, it
Yeah,
attracts the
yeah.
higher
And I
caliber.
mean, yeah, and you hear about these places, that are student rentals, and you rent it to three guys, and all of a sudden you go in there and there's 26 beds in the living room, and
Yeah, yeah.
like that kind of
I've
thing,
had to
right?
manage a
So
couple of those myself. Not
yeah.
fun.
Yeah,
And then you end up getting the
exactly.
bed bugs or this or that, and it's a whole additional amount of problems that you didn't really sign up for.
Exactly. Exactly.
But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I like that you're saying check it quarterly. So I've heard a lot of people say that as well. And then, hey, I'm just gonna go in and change the furnace filter. It's not even really a full on inspection, but that at least gets your foot in the door. Like you said,
Well, no, no, because then we'll check the fire alarms.
yep,
That even though it's once a year, I think you have to do it. But
yep, once a year, especially with the
it's just
wards one
good.
and two.
Yeah, check all the plumbing, make sure nothing's leaking. Just do a quick look around to um, just check for issues. Maybe
Yeah, yeah.
a ceiling, you see signs of the roof leaking, or things like that.
Sometimes tenants don't speak up either. Like I have some of the best tenants. And then the one time I go in, I was like, "Oh, so this has been broken? Like how long?" And it's not anything their fault, just wear and tear. They say, "Oh, about like 6 months." I was like, "Really?" And you should have just told me.
Why
And
didn't you
like,
tell me?
yeah,
Yeah,
I would have
yeah,
fixed it
yeah,
instantly for you.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
sometimes
I
I
know,
think
and
they're
that's
just
a
too shy, to be honest, too.
I always tell my tenants on move-in, you're not bothering me. I would rather know if there's an issue, because sometimes small issues can turn into big issues. And
hmm
whenever they call me, with a problem, like I always say, thank you very much for letting me know. I really appreciate it. And yeah, just so things don't get out of hand, right?
Mm, absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah, because you always hear their tenant horror stories, and you have to go to the landlord tenant board and other things, and yeah, that's not something you want to deal with. So that's another reason property management, so they can
Exactly,
deal with the
because we
filings of
have
things and
all kinds of checks and clearances, and background checks, credit checks. The lease has, I don't know how many addendums in it. You know what I
good,
mean? Like,
good.
yeah. So it's a very, very, very thorough background check before
Thorough
that
process.
yeah, yeah, very thorough process.
Out of curiosity, do you have to do any of those background checks for yourself to place the tenants, or is that also kind of managed by the head office?
No,
Or
that's all managed by
oh,
Kingston.
okay, awesome,
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, yeah. They're the experts, right? Like they have the systems, they have everything in place. So, yeah, they do it all.
That's really convenient.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So then I assume now that you have this on your plate, has anything else changed since last time we talked? Because last time we talked was well over a year ago, maybe even almost two. If I look back at the archives, like
Oh my goodness.
you're one of the first people that we went live with
Yeah,
quite a while
yeah.
back. So maybe like besides the property management, what else has been new with you in this past year or so?
Well, I guess yeah, last November I closed on that 2-year-old new build. It's 6 units
Okay,
with garages as well. So it's
this is a big
the
six
main,
units.
yeah, yeah. So the main building is upstairs, two-story upstairs. They're quite lovely. 3 bedroom, 2 baths. Dishwasher, um, washer dryer on upstairs where the bedrooms are. Um, just 1,800 square feet. Just really, really, really nice units. And then below those are 2 bedroom, 1 bath. Each unit has its own tankless hot water, its own
Nice.
furnace, its own central air. And then in the back, there's two garages with ADUs above them.
Oh, okay, so yeah, that's how you get your additional to up to six units.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So two studios in the back. But the owner that built it was living there. He was using both the garages. So on closing, I rented out the garages as well. So that's generating an extra
Extra
60.
income, or just as like storage or to the other tenants to use.
One of the tenants is renting one of them, and then just somebody from the public that wanted storage was renting a U-Haul space. And I was very particular about who could go in there and use it and what they could use it for because there's a tenant upstairs, right? So I had, oh my goodness, there is a market in that. I had so many people come and wanted to look at it. And of course, I was screening them
Mm-hmm.
initially before I even showed it. But I said, it can't be anything with noise. It can't be like any kind of
Can't be a
shop.
shop or something. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. A lot of people wanted that kind of thing. Nothing with any smells, like for painting, anything like that. But yeah, no, somebody's just using it that had been renting a U-Haul storage unit, and they're so expensive, right? So
I've
yeah,
heard that actually. Like Windsor
yeah.
itself, we don't really have a ton of storage.
Hmm.
We have two U-Hauls, and I think if you go towards Tecumseh, we have a little bit more storage. But it's maybe there's an
There's not a
opportunity there
ton.
too for some self storage. I don't know.
Right? Yeah. Oh, and they're nice garages. Like they're actually heated, drywalled,
Hmm.
lots of electrical in them, its own electrical panel. Like they really are quite nice.
Wow. So this is a cool kind of find. Since this is new build, that's maybe a bit different than some other investors would go after because they say, oh man, new builds, my money's going to be not necessarily stuck in the deal, but it's going to take longer to do a refinance or improve. Like, what was your strategy going into this, going new build
So,
versus, like, say,
well,
like a 1950s one that you renovate and you
right.
bring up?
So no, I knew I could increase the value like immediately
Okay.
because like I said, the owner was not an investor.
Mm,
So he didn't see, what things that could be done. Number one, his unit was going to be empty, and then the two garages. Then before closing, he messaged and said one of the two bedrooms gave their notice. Do you want us to re-rent it? And I said, absolutely not. I'll do it myself because they would have put somebody in there at a lower rent.
yeah, just
So
stick anyone in
that's
there. Just doesn't matter. Yeah.
right. So essentially, on closing, I had four new rents. The two garages, 3 bedroom and a 2 bedroom, ready to tenant,
Wow.
right?
Okay. And you're
But
probably able to
then
max that out.
yeah, but then the most beautiful thing was, I don't know if you've heard this story. I told
I don't
it,
think so. I don't know if I've heard this part.
no, I told it on the big stage at Expand. So, I think there was some kind of relationship with one of the tenants in the studio apartment. And I knew he had a deal with the owner was providing him internet. Didn't
Okay.
say that on the lease.
Mm.
And also, it said on the lease street parking only, even though there was a parking spot for him there. I think when he moved in, I don't
It just
know.
wasn't really enforced, it sounds like.
Well, I don't know if the owner, maybe they had two vehicles because it was a family, right? So maybe one was being used for his wife. Anyways, so this guy had been parking there and he had all his utilities included in his rent and he was paying the lowest rent,
Oh man.
right?
Yeah. How
So,
to get away with
so
that?
I read through this lease, with with a fine tooth comb, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna start giving this guy a hard time. Not a hard time, but I'm gonna
Yeah,
get
yeah.
like
Just
by the book.
yeah.
Oh, so of course, right away he's complaining about, well, there's no internet, and I said, well, I don't know anything about that. It's
Right, because it
like,
wasn't in the lease. You just gotta play
it's
dumb
not in
kind
your
of thing.
lease. Like, I don't know. And then I said to him, I reminded him a few times about the parking. And he says, no, no, that was before when there wasn't room. Now there's room. I said, no, it says in your lease. I said, you can rent a parking spot if you want, and I'll rent one to
Yeah.
you.
Did he bite?
Um,
Did he do it?
no,
Okay.
no,
Okay.
this is the better thing. 23 days. So we closed on the 5th. By the end of the month, I think about 2 weeks in, he says, how much notice do I have to give? I said, 60 days. So by the end of the first month, 23 days, I think it was, he gave his notice.
Really?
And
Wow.
then,
Okay.
and then he said, so I started showing it immediately. And then he said, if you want me to move out a month early, I will. So instead, after 30 days, right? So I had a new tenant in
Wow.
there
That other
in
tenant
less
wasn't
than,
even that bad. It sounds like
yeah,
to be that
no,
nice to
yeah, I don't,
yeah.
I'm not sure what the deal was, but anyways, I got it worked out. This new tenant's in, paying his utilities, higher rent, but I
Mm.
gave him parking.
Yeah.
Right?
Do
Yeah.
you generally like to make them pay for the utilities? I know some investors like to do all inclusive. I like this
No,
one's a way
well,
you can
no, and
raise your
and
NOI.
reason, yeah, no, reason being is because when they're not paying, I went in to show his apartment. It was 88 degrees in there.
Oh, dude. Okay, that's
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah, in December, early December, right? So what does he care? Jacks up the heat and leaves for the day, right? Because they're just not conscious of,
Yeah.
they don't care, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was a huge, so that was essentially five turned over in a month.
That's unheard of too, because usually you got to plan for like a 1 or 2 year stabilization period where you can turn over some units slowly and then renovate and then slowly get them to
Right. So the other
get
part
them
of
going.
that is had investors come in. I only took a 2-year mortgage because I knew I could significantly increase the NOI, right?
Mm.
So I knew that, and they only offered because it was a new institution that I was dealing with, credit union, and they only offered 65% loan to value. So I
Okay.
knew within a 2-year period, I could increase the value of the property and refinance it and get the money back for the investors. So
Right on. Yeah,
yeah,
and the
I
investors are
mean,
probably happy too because they're like, wow, this is a quicker turnaround than
right?
a
Two
lot of other
years,
deals.
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
2 years is pretty quick, right?
yeah. The
Yeah,
velocity of money is key because if you, like we were just saying earlier, you don't want to have it stuck in there for too long because then you need to make it keep growing and moving. So,
right, right. Yeah, that was a sweet spot about this one. So yeah, so 2 years they get their initial capital back, and then they still own equity in the building. So each subsequent refi, then there's a nice little chunk in your pocket,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, if you don't mind me asking, how do you like to structure deals like with investors? Do you say 50-50 or I know probably it's a little bit deal dependent too, like a 60-40? I know either way you make it a win-win. I'm just curious.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so I've got a lot of skin in the game in this one.
Okay.
So I was selling off some equity, yeah, different proportions, but
Yeah. Oh, you don't have to say exact for this specific
yeah,
deal.
yeah. But no, I own a large part of it because I did put a fair amount of money into it as well.
Yeah. Totally
Yeah,
fair. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Are you looking at other deals here in Windsor or Essex County right
Well,
now?
yeah,
Got your eyes
they
on some
they
things?
always come across, you know, but I haven't been actively pursuing anything. Talk to different people about different ones because it's all about partnerships now,
Yeah.
right? So but I'm always open to them. I haven't been spending a lot of time, and I know I'm going to get in trouble because I haven't been doing property alternatives, you know. Um, but I have been focusing on. Well, I'm actually doing a refi now on another one, and
It takes some time out of your day too, just to
yeah,
manage all that.
yeah, it does. And then developing this new property management company as well. So, yeah.
I'm totally
Yeah,
understandable.
I'm
Yeah, you got a
if
lot of things
anybody's
on the
got
go.
anything, yeah, if anybody's got anything that looks interesting, I was speaking with one person that was looking at something in Windsor, and she wanted, somebody with some experience. And I said, yeah, I'll be happy to. But then she found something closer to home, so that's
Mm.
kind of got pushed aside for now. But yeah, like I'm always happy to partner with anybody, right? Well, not anybody, but I'm always
I
happy
know what you
to,
mean. Yeah, you got to be
yeah,
careful who you partner with.
yeah. But I'm always happy to, yeah, look at deals and, yeah, even, you know, develop relationships with people that maybe we can, look at deals in the future.
Hmm.
Because it is very important.
Oh,
Who your
absolutely.
partners are. Yeah, you don't just jump in with anybody. I'm happy to build relationships. How's that? If
Hmm.
it's somebody that I know that, well already, and I think our values align. I'm happy to have more discussions with them and see what they've got lined up, and if they want to bring me in for my expertise, then yeah, I'm happy to work with them.
That's actually a nice way of putting it. You could be the consultant, if you will.
Yeah, 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 absolutely.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
very true, though. It's people, real estate's like a people game, right? It's the who, not the how. It's all those cliche sayings, but it is people. Like, they're the ones that'll bring you the deal. They're the
it's
ones
all
that
those
help you
people,
finance it,
right?
manage it, all that jazz.
Absolutely. Your team is everything, right? Your network is your net worth.
Hmm. And that's why we go to all these meetups all that we can. That's why we bump into each other all the time
That's
because
right.
we're on the
That's
same
right. I
page
love
about
it.
that.
Yeah, yeah. No, I love it. It's just I am creative and I'm always thinking, how can we make something work together, and how can, take your strengths and my strengths and his strengths and, build build something
I
together.
I think that is a good skill of a leader to be able to pick specific people for specific jobs or
Hmm.
for specific roles, and then have them excel in those roles and help build them up so that they can keep succeeding in those. Because
Exactly.
sometimes you might you don't want to be the leader and then partner with someone else who's trying to be something else that you can't make fit,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
it
No,
just
you have
doesn't.
to be very clear in your roles,
Yeah,
right? Yeah. Yeah.
define
And
them.
different people have different strengths. So, yeah, why not leverage, you know, different strengths
Hmm.
in partners and really put some good stuff together?
Regarding partnerships, do you have any suggestions on how you like to vet people for deals, or things you like to ask potential partners in order to uh, proceed with things?
I
Or
don't have a list per se. And one of my guests one time said she was going to share a list with us and never did. But um,
or is it more just you like to get to know them over time,
get
be
to know
friends in
them
a
over
way, and then
time. I'm a pretty good reader of people, as in the salon business, it's all about communication.
yeah,
Like, somebody comes in and says, or somebody will call and say, I want a haircut, but you start asking questions, right? And really what they want is highlights, lowlights, a color, and a haircut. You know what I
which is
mean?
like
So
way more.
yeah, so I mean, you really have to ask a lot of questions. I've got clients. Actually, one of my clients today was in and she said, Jan, she said, I think it's our anniversary. Do you know, 38 years she's been my client.
Wow, that's some
Yeah,
loyalty right there. Holy cow!
right. And I'm like, we're like family. And we've been through a lot together, both her and myself. But yeah, and it's just about, building those relationships. And I do, like, I have fourth generation clients, and they are like family. But it's really about communication.
Hmm.
And I think working with people for all those years, being an owner, having staff, having quite large staffs at different periods. I've downsized now. I just have one employee. But yeah, it's working with people is a skill, right?
Right.
Learning what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, and being able to help them develop. I've always had apprentices in my career, so I like teaching.
Hmm.
Uh, I love the energy of, people who are learning. I love to teach people who want to learn. Um, yeah, it's a people game, Business is a people game, and I got a lot of experience with people.
Do you have any, maybe how do I phrase this? Do you have any lessons you've learned in business that you've kind of translated over into real estate? Um, Maybe like we
Always
were just
get
saying with
everything
the
in
people.
writing.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, yes, yeah. Way back. Oh, so I opened my first salon. Now I was already self-employed because um, I, I was renting a chair, so I was self-employed even before I
That's
had
actually
the
a good point, way
salon.
to say it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You're always
Uh,
entrepreneurial from the get go.
from the get-go. Um, so I opened my first salon when Jill was just a baby, and she's going to be 32. So, and I went in with a partner, and it was somebody actually that I knew fairly well. Went to school with her. Um, and I thought, and she had transitioned into aesthetics, doing nails because she was having allergy problems with um, her hands and hair products.
Hmm.
So essentially, we're going into the salon. We were splitting the rent. She was going to have her business. I was going to have my business. And I thought, like, really, what can go wrong? A lot of things can go wrong.
Yeah,
So,
I can imagine.
yeah, unfortunately, yeah, I was, anyways, I won't get into details, but um, yeah, so I bought her out and fairly quickly, and I've carried on ever since.
Wow. I like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, you definitely need stuff in writing. I learned from actually shout out to Marla Koff, and she was saying similar to me. You need to write everything out in like gory detail, even if it seems super basic that you both know and you know we both know. Just still write it down. Say, okay, you're
Right.
in charge of this, or if this happens, this.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
have a specific thing to as an example, but
What
just
what if
every little
what if
detail.
what if one of us dies?
Yeah, yeah,
That's
definitely
the
need that in your
important one,
agreements.
right? Like
Absolutely.
what's the does it go to your state? Does it, does the other owner absorb your, like, what
Hmm. Yeah, who
happens,
gets the
right?
shares or how's that work? Yeah,
Exactly, exactly. So
yeah.
that kind of depends on how the if it's a corporation, like how the corporation is
Hmm.
structured from the beginning. But yeah, it's a really important one. Alfonso actually was the one when we were um, putting the contract together with Andre and myself, and he
He
says, like,
helped you with that one. Awesome.
yeah, like, just suggestions of things, and that was one of them. He said, like, what if you have an aneurysm, Jan? Or what if Andre gets hit by a car, and it's, you know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
it doesn't always have to be sickness, right? It's kind of like when you're writing a will, you have to write it
Yeah,
like,
think of the worst case. What could happen?
yeah,
You
worst
know,
case,
probably will never happen,
like
just in case.
today, yeah, but you have to be prepared, right?
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's you hope nothing goes wrong, but
Yeah.
you never know.
And what's your exit strategy? What if it isn't working out?
Hmm.
But how do you get out of the, yeah,
That's a
what's
great point.
what's
Or
the
if
exit
what
plan?
if one guy in real estate he wants to sell and it's not 5 years now he wants to sell in two.
Yeah.
How do you, can you
Yeah.
even can are you even allowed to do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the long-term plan with this property? Um, yeah, is there a minimum time that you have to stay invested in it? How do you decide whether it's time to sell or not? All
Hmm.
those things, right? Yeah.
One other crucial one that I'll always have in mind is now who pays for stuff if something does go wrong or over budget? Who starts to cough up the money in order to do it,
Yeah,
in order to
yeah,
fix, if the product's already done, in order to maintain it and fix it for the tenants, or during the renovations? Okay, is it like the same equity split of whatever the JV was, like a 60-40, 50-50 that you would contribute?
yeah.
But at the same
Or
time, you have to make sure that they actually have the funds available, that they're not rubbing two pennies together after this project's done.
exactly, exactly. That's another important thing. Yeah. Or if they're coming in as the money partner and you're just the active partner, are they responsible for all the cost overruns,
Mm-hmm.
or is it have to maybe they are up to 10%, but if it goes over 10%, is it because you didn't get the proper quotes, or whatever
Yeah.
it is, right? But yeah, there's a lot of little details that you really have to think about, because we know in real estate investing things always go sideways, right?
Yeah.
It's not a straight line.
I've never had one project go completely,
Right,
completely smoothly. There's always
right,
something, even if it's a little thing.
always something. Yep.
Have you
Yeah.
ever had any like oh crap moments in real estate that you are willing to share about, or any at least big lessons learned that you've experienced over your investing career?
Oh, so many things I've
Yeah.
learned. Right? Like, yeah.
Well, you think about that, I'll say this, and I heard this quote, or I'll be paraphrasing, but basically it was saying, if you haven't made a mistake yet, you're either not trying hard enough or you're too new at the game.
I love that. I love
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
because you should be
Yeah.
taking some risk and you should be kind of pushing yourself, and
Yeah.
like we were saying earlier,
Do-
expanding. But if you're always playing it extremely safe, I don't think you're really going to necessarily scale. You might get a couple properties here and there, right? But I don't think you're really going to start learning too much if you're always just doing the same thing over and over again. You got to keep challenging yourself
Yeah.
and
It,
growing.
it's just earlier I was having a meeting with my bookkeeper and we're going through everything and she's like trying to keep she's oh, she's like and her and her husband are my age, and both self-employed too. They don't have pensions, and I said, like, this is my pension, this is I need to make this work. And she's like, well, we're not quite as risk averse as you are,
Yeah.
because you leverage your own home, right? And I said, that's what we learn. You take the equity out. Oh, I don't think I could do that, she said. But
Mm-hmm.
I said, like, I know it's like you have to make it happen. It's kind of like being in business all these years. I didn't have a paycheck. Like, I needed to make that work. And for many years, I had, my two daughters that were counting on me. Like, I had to feed them and clothe them
You had
and
to do
get them
whatever you had to do.
piano lessons, and you know what I mean. And so it was just like non-optional to make things work. It was just figure it out.
Mm.
There was no quitting, right?
No, that's definitely not an option either.
Yeah,
You've been very persistent over the years, I can tell, or from what you
yeah,
told me in the past too.
yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
just I raised my daughters, and I've said this before publicly, with the idea there's no such thing as can't.
Mm.
Like, you always figure out a way to make something work, Um, yeah, and we've done a lot of things over the years, that the three of us, that yep, let's figure this out,
Mm.
Um, yeah.
How do you maintain this discipline or this consistency or this really positive mindset? Is there anything you always fall back on, like a vision of the future, retirement, doing this for your daughters?
Yeah, well, so I have a vision board, and it's right beside my spin bike. So when I'm spinning, I listen to podcasts,
Okay.
and a lot of motivational. Um,
I can tell you're the David Goggins type.
yeah, no, I'm
I
not
just kidding.
familiar with
I
him.
just kidding. It's this Navy SEAL guy. He keeps yelling at you, and it's
Oh,
it's
okay.
it's
Yeah,
just
no,
jokes.
no,
I'm
no,
just
no, no.
kidding.
I'm not really about. No,
No,
I'm
no.
more like Joe Dispenza, Dr. Joe Dispenza.
I've heard the name. I've never listened to the podcast.
So, he is a quantum physicist. So it's science based. Like, the actual, like, how your thoughts can change your physical body.
Oh yeah,
Um,
100%.
yeah, yeah. So I truly believe in that. Um,
Yeah.
Mel Robbins, like Oprah Winfrey. Like I just there's
Yeah, have a
tons
wide
of
variety
them.
that you listen to
Yeah,
and learn from.
when I'm walking, I listen to a podcast. I was at the dentist yesterday, and she handed me the remote for the TV. She says you can watch whatever you want. I'm like, I don't watch TV, like all this stuff. So I went to YouTube and I turned on a Mel Robbins podcast, like
How
because
funny would it have been if you went to your YouTube channel
yeah.
and just click
Oh,
it
I
on?
should have. I never thought of that. Oh my goodness, I never thought of that, John. That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
make sure they
That's what I'm gonna
subscribe.
do next time. That's
Uh,
funny. That's funny. Yeah.
yeah, those I back to that though with your words have power, and what you tell yourself really does affect your physiology too. If you say you can't do something, of course you won't be
Yeah.
able to achieve it
Yeah.
because you're already telling
Yeah.
subconsciously like, oh, this is out of my
Uh,
wheelhouse, this is out of my control.
uh,
I'll never
yeah.
do
And that's,
XYZ.
um,
It's already
yeah, that
self-defeating.
exactly. The saying, if you think you can't, you're right. If you think you can, you're right. If you think you can't, you're right too. Right? Like whatever you think, you're right.
Yeah.
Because that's what's gonna happen. Yeah.
Yeah, I think more people in this day and age need to have that positivity as well, because there's a lot of not just negativity towards self, but just pessimism and what can go wrong. And that's all they think about. And let's say, then bring this back to real estate. Oh man, what if this goes wrong? What if that goes wrong? At a certain point, you have to just
They're gonna
trust,
go wrong.
yeah, that it will go wrong and that you're prepared enough to deal with these issues and deal with them quickly.
Yeah, exactly. Funny, this morning when I was talking with that client who they were also business owners as well,
Hmm.
and just talking about people that are negative and how we just like we don't want to be around them anymore. We're like we don't want to be
Absolutely not.
friends with them anymore.
Yeah.
I said like I that's why I love the real estate investor community. I says because everybody has that growth mindset, and I said, like I just love being around those people, and I really don't want to be around people that
Hmm.
are negative, Yeah,
The energy is
complaining
contagious
and
too, right?
whiners.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Yeah, no, I I'm just at that point in my life like I just don't need to like I'm okay with just walking away from it because
Hmm.
yeah, I'm not gonna let you drag me down. You know?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think that goes also same in the same basket as the people who talk all about the past. Like, oh, remember the good old days or X, like when we did this or how fun was this trip? It's like, and there's never future forward saying, how can we achieve this or how can we grow in this
Yeah.
aspect of
What should we
life
do
or
next? What's
what,
gonna be
yeah,
our
what
next
is next?
adventure,
What's the next
right?
deal, Jan? Or what are we,
Yeah,
what walkthrough are
exactly.
we going to be doing or how are we going to solve this issue? And, it's like
Exactly.
the masterminds, I guess. Like you've been to
Yeah.
several of those. You've probably
Yeah.
had multiple breakthroughs and things like that.
Oh my
Like
goodness. Yeah. Like
I
each
bet
time
they're
I go,
packed with
it's
value.
about leveling up, right? And we're talking about the mastermind retreats, which are in crazy great places. I've done one in Spain,
Hmm.
one in Greece, and just in the Azores, just got back from. But
Oh, I forgot about that one. Yeah, all wealth
yeah,
genius. Uh,
yeah. And it's just that collective mind, right? And you throw something out and everybody just chimes in and it really is like Napoleon Hill, that he was the one that
yeah.
started these masterminds, and that's
Oh, he was the guy. Think and Grow
yeah,
Rich, and
yeah, like with big people like Thomas Edison and um like huge people, right? Like back when I don't know when was that, like early 1900s or
yeah,
something.
something like that. Or yeah,
Yeah. And it's this like the same theory. It's just getting really high level thinkers together and collaborating, and putting your collective minds together and it's not necessarily a problem. It's just
it's at another hurdle or something that you're
it's not
stuck
even
on.
so much a hurdle. How can I get to the next step?
Yeah.
I'm doing great. I'm ready to level up.
Hmm.
So, where should I go? What direction should I take? And what steps should I take to do it? Is essentially what it boils down to. And
Gotcha. I
it's
guess
crazy what people come up with.
yeah, and since they're looking outside, looking in, they probably have a different
Exactly.
perspective that can help you along and
Totally.
a wealth of
Totally.
knowledge and experience that they had themselves.
Exactly. And if you think you're lacking in some way, like they're just like, "Are you kidding?" Like,
Right. Yeah.
look at it from this angle or look at it from that angle, or you know what I mean? Like it's
They can
yeah,
encourage you
no.
too.
Yeah, no, it's if anybody ever gets a chance, I highly recommend doing it. And each time I come back, it's like I have a new family. I have my Spain family, my Greece family, my Portugal family.
Right. Yeah.
So
You connected with them on a deeper level.
yeah, you do because you just, you're vulnerable and you just like it's not something they're not topics you would talk about like at a meetup or at a conference or something. Like you are with these people 24/7 for like 6 days,
Hmm.
So you're sharing 3 meals a day together. Yeah, it's
Is
going
it
on.
is it fully focused on like breakthrough sessions or the kind of roundtable discussions, or do you have any more casual
Oh, there's no, no,
casual
there's a lot of
chats and things? Or
yeah,
I'm just
no,
curious
there's
how what the
there
structure is like because I've
yeah,
never been
so
on one,
so
at least not
it
well
kind
teams.
of yeah, so it kind of starts out like um different steps of like letting down your barriers, getting to know each other, kind of team building kind
Mm.
of thing. Um, what is it? The group. It was trying to form the group, so it,
Kind of
it
bond
was
you together.
to make the group form is the term that they used, and because once the group is formed, you're comfortable with each other, and over a period of about 3 days, everybody takes a turn, and it's their mastermind. So they go up in front of the group and they talk and say, this is what I'm doing, what blah blah blah. This is whatever your mastermind is about, and it's typically about yeah, leveling up, and everybody gives their thoughts and ideas about different ways you can achieve those things, and it's just incredible to get all those different ideas and light bulbs, like,
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
yeah, oh good idea,
You
like
get
yeah,
that spark, and then it
yeah, and then after we have like accountability partners. We
that is crucial actually to
yeah,
make sure you actually do what you say you're gonna do.
right, because we have a 90-day action plan, and yeah, yeah, so
That's good that they give you the tools also to execute versus sometimes, like, no offense to Tony Robbins, but you go there, you get all amped up, and
and then
then
you
you
go.
leave, and then you kind of fizzles out within a couple
Yeah,
days. And they're like,
yeah,
oh, when's the next one? I need to get motivated
yeah,
again. It's
ramped
like,
up
well, that's
again.
not really
Yeah,
how it should work. You need
yeah,
to
exactly.
have the discipline to keep you going after the motivation kind of wanes, or the accountability to say, hey, I know you know what you need to do. You just got to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Did you do it?
Yeah,
Right. Talk to you in 2 weeks. You got your
exactly.
yeah, 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 which is great, right? Because there's nothing like a deadline to get things done.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll procrastinate. Sometimes I would actually, not you, but
Yeah.
sometimes I know
I
personally.
yeah, I don't think I'm really a procrastinator. Um, Sometimes I'm challenged with um not doing things that aren't my favorite first, but I always think in the back of my mind. I went to a business development workshop when as a salon owner, and the keynote speaker
Hmm.
said, the first thing you have to do in the morning is eat the frog. I
I've
don't know.
heard that saying. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, that's the worst thing you're gonna have to do all day is eat a frog, then just knock it off your list first thing. So,
Yeah. Then everything else seems easy, eh?
yeah, yeah. And so now I have a planner, and it's like a giant agenda, but it maps out, like, you set goals, and for the week, for the day, and it's priorities for the week, priorities for that day, things to but then it's got checklists too, like, and it's work related, relationship related, family related, health related, health exercise, like mindset, like, so you can check off all those things. So, and what I like to do is I have a different color little gel pens.
Hmm.
So it's pretty visual when you block in time for, property management or salon or
Yeah.
um,
Specific activities.
yeah, working out, or going to visit my mom, or you know what I mean, all these, and so you can get a visual in the week just by the colors. That's how I've chosen to do it. That you can take a quick look and there's a lot of pink on there. There's a lot of
Right. You might
blue
have to rebalance some of
there.
these. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's an easy way to yeah, get a quick visual balance.
So it sounds your day to day is pretty highly structured then the way you put it into your calendar and you kind of map things out. Is it down to the hour or is it down kind of you have some flex time? Hey, this zone is work time, so I don't feel bad if I do work stuff. And this chunk of hours is leisure time, so I don't feel bad if it's leisure.
Yeah, no, I do. Like I schedule in workouts. I schedule in gardening time. Um, yeah, I schedule in, visits with my mom, time with my girls, time with friends, um, and salon time, property management time, podcast time,
Yeah.
yeah, mastermind times. So, but it's pretty scheduled. It's and it's like there's really important tasks that need to be taken care of, and I like to check things off,
Mm.
um I'm very much like I have it in my phone, I have it on my computer, my calendar, but I still like a paper
I think
planner.
I think there's
Yeah.
something to writing something down in
Yes.
or journaling that action, putting a pen to paper really does help it
Yeah, and
get
checking it
ingrained
off.
in your memory or at least dump it out of your brain.
Well, yeah, that's a Mel Robbins thing too, eh? The brain dump is get it all out of there so that it's not all swirling around. And that's what I find. Like I'm the sticky note queen too. I keep sticky notes everywhere. So if something pops in my brain, I'll write it on a sticky note and then transfer it later. You know what I mean? But
Right.
but I can just get it out of there,
Just
and
so you
I
don't
know
forget it.
yeah, so I know I'm gonna remember to do it. And sometimes even in my planner, I've got all kinds of sticky notes about
Oh, I
things.
hear you. I'm
Yeah.
similar, but with three different notepads going, it's like I need to consolidate this here.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I
Yeah.
guess it sounds like that's definitely something that gives you an edge and helps you stay organized and keep pushing forwards and scaling. Is there anything else that you do that you think gives you an edge, or that maybe I'll flip this that other real estate investors aren't doing that they should be doing in order to succeed?
I don't know what other people are doing or not doing. Um, I know
I
what I need
guess
to do. Yeah.
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 I guess I was
Uh,
thinking in terms of now that you've had some breakthroughs and now that you've been in business in the real estate game for a while, some things that you started doing or habits that you've formed over time, processes, systems in place. Has
So
it?
I'm all about checks, right? So I
Mhm.
have a habit tracker
Okay.
and things that, yeah, and again, some business related, some is, make your bed first thing,
Okay.
drink your water, fruits and vegetables, reading, investor calls, deal flow, all those, which deal flow hasn't had a lot of checks lately, but it's just a reminder, right? And then I also have, um, it's a one pager that I wrote out, and that comes again from Think and Grow Rich. And it's kind of like your mission statement and what you need to do to get to where you want to get. And but you start it in the present tense
Hmm.
of this is what's going on, and then I'm going to achieve this by that 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 that, and you're supposed to read it first thing in the morning and last thing before you go to bed at night.
Interesting. Yeah. So again, gets in the
Yeah.
subconscious.
Hmm.
Okay. So that's a reminding you of your why or your motives for the day.
Exactly. Exactly. And keeps you focused on what you need to do to get there. Another thing I do because um, I don't share my bed, I guess, is I listen to a YouTube video um, 8 hours while I'm sleeping. I put on like a
Really?
motivational or affirmations, positive thinking, like all those kind of things. Sometimes it's just deep sleep music because, as you can tell, I'm my mind goes.
Right. You need something to kind of calm it
My
or
mind's
to
pretty busy. Yeah, yeah,
some sort of noise to block out other
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Yeah, I'm not very good at all at meditation. I can do yoga. Um, I'm pretty good. Actually, I'm pretty good at yoga and,
Yeah.
getting in
You're
the
pretty
zone. But
active too. I think that's another thing that keeps you successful. There's a lot of people who would not be physical or maintain themselves as well as you are. So
well,
kudos to
and
you and having the spin bike
yeah,
there, like that definitely
yeah,
helps give you the energy throughout the day and the
yes,
health.
and diet too, right? Like not I don't diet, I eat well. And of course, because of my gluten allergy, a lot of that was forced on me. So I eat a lot of whole foods. Recently, I've been eating a lot of protein. I read this book called Younger Next Year,
I've
and
heard
it's
of
really
it.
cool. Yeah, it was another investor that recommended it, and I looked it up, and there was a women's version of it. He's a guy, and so I read this women's version of it, and it just talks about how important it is to. I'm doing resistance training now twice a week, like
Awesome.
yeah, right. But
Awesome.
it talks about how your body goes into decay after like the age of 30, and
Yeah,
how
I
you
think
have
that's
to
men and women. Just that's where it's the
yeah,
decline. Yeah,
exactly. But it's even more so important, they say, for women.
oh yeah,
Women um have more heart disease, more heart attacks than men, actually.
really?
Yeah, yeah.
No way.
Statistics are crazy. One of the chapters, it says, okay, you're sitting in a restaurant, somebody at the next table goes down on the floor and they've had a heart attack, and you look over, and what are you gonna, who are you gonna see on the ground? And they say most people will visualize seeing a man on the ground. They said, no, statistics are that it's women. Heart attacks kill more women than the next seven women diseases like breast cancer, ovarian cancer, um,
That is
yeah,
fascinating. Like morbidly fascinating. That's
isn't it?
yeah.
So it seems with me, each time I have a birthday, I kind of, it's coming up and it's another year, and I just, kind of, yeah, reassess things.
Hmm.
And so I had a doctor's appointment. So my dad, who has led an incredibly healthy life. He was vegetarian way before it was a cool thing to do. Like for 40 years, he was vegetarian.
Just because, just
Like,
for
yeah,
health
my,
purposes.
yeah, just for health purposes.
Wow. Okay. Good
He
for him.
was, he's mind expansion too. He read or watched the video of Forks Over Knives like years ago. He's done yoga for years and years and years. Like he was just way ahead of his time, right?
This guy's a cool
So
dude.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so he went to the doctor, and he said to her, I'm getting a little tired quicker when I'm working out. He for his what was it? His 79th birthday, he bought himself a rowing machine. I mean, dude's the only guy I know that uses his treadmill daily. I mean, most people buy them and they,
Yeah, it
hang their
just goes in the
clothes on them.
closet after like a
Yeah,
week. Yeah.
exactly, right? So, anyways, he went to his doctor, and she says, "Well, how about I'll send you for a stress test?" So off he goes, and the, they came in and they said, "You've got some blockages. We want to send you for an angiogram." And he was like shocked. He thought he blew through it because he's on the treadmill every day, right? So, brought him to the hospital for his angiogram and dropped him off, and we're trying to figure out because my mom wasn't driving anymore. My mom has Alzheimer's. That was the other
Hmm.
thing I was concerned about. But how we were going to get him home because I had to work in the afternoon. Anyways, he calls me. He says, "Yeah, so they have a bed for me in London."
Uh oh.
I'm
Uh
like,
oh.
what? He had
Yeah.
quadruple
This
bypass
escalated.
surgery. He was
Oh jeez.
like, they said, had he not lived that healthy of a lifestyle,
Yep.
he would have, he was like this close to the widowmaker. He would have dropped dead like 20 years ago.
Wow.
So, you
Wow.
know, yeah, heredity, right? So I said to the doctor, I'm a little concerned. He says, "Well, are you, any symptoms?" And I said, "Well, I'm getting a little tired, but I don't know if that's what I need." I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty active, but or a little more tired than I used to. So,
Hmm.
anyways, I went for a stress test. I was fine. But,
Thank
and
goodness.
then my other concern was Alzheimer's because of my mom. And he says, I don't see any signs of Alzheimer's.
No, you're quick as a whip.
Yeah, yeah. So I do like I love to keep my brain active. And that was another part in this book is it talks about if you follow all these steps, and eat a healthy, high protein diet, and that's what they say, like non-processed foods, right? Strength training or resistance training twice a week, 6 days a week for women to
Six.
do
Wow.
anaerobic exercise. And then twice a week, like they want you to break down your muscles. Like they're talking like hard because they want your whole body to be tricked into rebuilding itself.
Right. You got to
You know,
give it a reason
yeah,
to maintain the muscle because I think as women too,
yeah,
your hormones don't allow you to maintain as much muscle over time. Like I'm lucky with
exactly.
testosterone just to be able to naturally just hold more
Exactly.
mass.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And as women lose estrogen, then yeah, they stop. But I mean, it starts at 30.
Yeah.
Like my younger daughter is reading a book and it's almost the same thing, and she's 27. And she was talking about this book she was reading. And I'm talking to her. I'm like, wow, that sounds like they're saying the same thing almost.
That means you're on the right path then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, but so what it says is if you follow this, you will prevent 70% of diseases that you were predisposed to. And that
That's a
can be
good trade to
Alzheimer's,
me. Yeah.
cancers, heart disease, all these kind of things. I'm like, okay, I'm in. You know?
Worth it.
And live well into your 80s and strong, right?
Yes. Yeah. Because you don't want to
Yeah,
live the last portion of your life just
exactly. And
hobbling
that's what they
around or
Yeah,
whatever
that's what
else.
they
Yeah.
talk about, the last third, right? And living well and healthy into your 80s. Another thing it talks about is like when you're 30 and when you're 70, you trip just as many times, but when you're 30, you're strong enough to catch yourself. But when you're in your 70s, if you're not um, strengthening your core and your skeletal structure and everything, that's when people fall and they break hips and like all those kind of things,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a really cool book. I highly recommend, and I'm very grateful to the person who recommended it to me because it's pretty cool.
I'll add that to the reading list. Always trying to
Yeah,
add more of those sort of things.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's written by a gerontologist and his patient. So the gerontologist kind of he'll do one chapter and kind of gives the science behind it and how this goes back to like microorganisms, how they regenerate. Not we're not talking like cavemen. We're talking like millions of years ago, right?
Wow.
And um and then the patient, he's kind of the comic relief and kind of makes it
Kind of
fun
breaks
and
the monotony of
sympathetic.
all the
Yeah.
science versus
Yeah,
like real
yeah. I
life.
mean, yeah, the gerontologist isn't that dry, but he does talk more about the science end of it.
All the
So
mechanisms. Oh man. No,
yeah,
thanks,
yeah,
Jen.
yeah.
That's a great
It's a
one.
great book. I recommend. I tell everybody about it. All my clients, you got to read this book.
Yeah, health is wealth. I think that was something that Nate Atkin would say when he was on the stages saying
Yeah,
you gotta maintain that. So I'm proud of you, Jen.
yeah,
That's fantastic. You're a good role
yeah,
model to
yeah.
your
I mean, that's
daughters.
not really about real estate investing, but
No,
well,
I think
it's
this is
part of
fine because
it, right?
it ties into your life as an investor,
Yeah,
and people want to know who you are at the same time. They don't always want to hear about real estate. They want to know who the person is behind the deals and behind
yeah, yeah,
all the stuff like
yeah.
that.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
and what keeps me going and yeah, like you have to put good food in your body to be able to maintain that level of energy all day, right? Like I start with protein like first thing in the morning and yeah,
protein is king.
protein is king.
Oh man, is there anything else, Jen, that we haven't covered on the real estate side of things? I know we kind of
On the
meandered
real
here
estate
and
side of
there.
things,
Like
wow.
what's in your future for? I know it's maybe a little bit early for 2026, but do you have anything on the horizon coming up there? Or anything that
Well,
you want to put out in the universe that you're trying to achieve?
yeah,
More
so
partners, more
more
stages,
multifamily.
more
Yeah.
multifamily. Okay,
More sure, more multifamily. Kind of get this property management thing, organized that's and then these refis done and then yeah, more collaborations on multifamilies. You want to go bigger, right? You always want to go
absolutely.
bigger. Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
big.
And and the thing is too is I really want to help people who don't know about real estate investing. I want to help them. That's another thing. It's like, I get so excited talking to people. Do you know that you can, use your registered funds, that you can, leverage the equity in your home because they have no idea, right?
That's very true. I don't think very
Yeah.
many people know you can use Olympia Trust, or there's a couple other ones too.
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
let you actually apply those funds into deals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy, and I just like I don't know if you remember your first boot camp that you went to and those light bulb moments, right? And like I just want to share my knowledge with everybody and help everybody get rich and in real estate,
Yeah.
right?
No, I can see
Yeah,
you're passionate about it, clearly.
yeah, yeah, I do, I do.
That those conversations can be tough, I assume, because over time, people who do have the RSPs or the HELOCs that they could be using have probably not invested for 40, 50 years. So their financial literacy is, I don't want to say non-existent, but it's a whole different paradigm shift they have to kind of
Yeah.
nudge them towards, you know?
Well, so another great book that I read long before I even joined Keyspire was the RRSP Secret.
Mm,
Great book. So I knew that you could transfer your RSPs into Olympia Trust and what you could do with them, but I thought, I don't know any, like, who am I going to give a mortgage to? You know what I mean? Like,
I see what
I
you're
don't
saying.
know
Yeah.
anything about that,
You
right?
had one piece of
So
the puzzle.
yeah, so I mean, as soon as I joined Keyspire and there was opportunities, I transferred them right away because they were tanking, and I thought, no, and started learning about different ways, you could invest them and stuff, and because like I said, I had already read the book, and if you read it, you realize what a racket it is, and all the money goes to the fund managers and the fees and so
Yes. Yeah.
you're really not making, even the way they do the reports looks like you're making more than you actually are. Like they're pretty confusing. And yeah, like it made me like piss me off. I thought,
Oh,
I'm getting
absolutely.
ripped off
Rightfully
here,
so, because yeah,
Yeah.
you're not
Yeah.
making a lot, and
No, and I mean,
when you
that's
retire,
what
you don't
most
even know if you're
people,
going to have enough to retire sometimes.
well, I didn't have a lot. I'm gonna
Well,
tell
that's fair too, because you were self-employed. Yeah.
exactly, exactly. So I mean, I had some from way back when I was first married and we were contributing, but then essentially, I was in survival mode for
Yeah.
for quite some time. And then yeah, just worked hard to, I was very careful with money and just but we never like we always did okay. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
I always figured a way to make things happen for the kids and, post-secondary and keep them in all their activities and all, give them opportunities. My youngest daughter, went on an exchange to Spain, just whatever, like we just figured it out. And, but then once they were kind of on their way, then I was like, holy shit. I
Right.
gotta I gotta seriously think about some retirement plan. So that's when things got started.
And that's when you decide to fully jump into real estate then?
Well, yeah. So first of all, now I'm like third generation, right? Because my grandfather had um, a restaurant with apartments above it,
Oh,
apartments
okay.
behind.
So you're already
This is
kind of
back.
exposed to it a little bit.
Yeah, my dad had a 12 unit. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, I knew it was a good investment. So my first one, I wasn't a member of any of the communities yet, and I don't even know how I knew how to do this. I just figured it out. I used like a 0% balance transfer for the deposit. I got a
Oh,
private mortgage. I don't even know how I came up with all
you just
that.
kind of figured it out as you went. You
Yeah,
just jumped in
yeah,
that deep end.
yeah. And then, so that was a student rental. That was in 19. And then I started joining communities and learning how you could leverage that and just how you could structure deals and how multifamily is king, right? Like, so yeah, that's
Wow. And the rest is
pretty,
history.
yeah. Yeah, and the rest is history. Yeah. And I mean, it's all about networking. And as you know, I love talking to people. So
Hmm.
it's,
I'm sure we could
yeah.
talk way more, and then we can talk in the
Oh
next
my
real
goodness.
estate meetups. I'm sure there's going to be some before the end of the year, so we'll see each other in person some more.
Absolutely.
And then there's
Absolutely.
expand as well. So
Yeah.
there's plenty of
Yeah.
opportunity for that. So
Yeah.
Jan, where can people find you? I guess I clearly you're on Facebook and whatnot. I'll also take your contact info afterwards. I'll put in the description for people too. But
Okay.
where can
Thank
people
you.
find you?
Yeah. Honestly, the best place, reach out to me on Facebook. I do have, um, my podcast, Investing with Jan, on YouTube, and yeah, Adair Property Management, also a Facebook page. But I mean, you can reach out to me personally about that if you're interested in our services. If you have a referral for us, that will get you a referral fee, or if you're interested in another city that you want to expand and maybe talk about a franchise in
Right,
your
right.
area. Yeah, yeah,
Awesome.
yeah,
Thanks, Jan. I really appreciate your time again. It's good catching up on the All Things REI podcast. I know it's been a while, long overdue, and we'll do this again
absolutely.
sometime next year once you get into bigger multifamily and follow up with you and see how the property management's going as well. And to everyone that's going to be watching this, comment, like, subscribe, and then also let us know any questions you might have for Jan and other future guests for the podcast. All right. See you guys. Have a good one.